Right, so this is a suggestion via donation. The name of the video is Chicago and Philly worse than war zones? Guys, I can definitely tell you, you should probably be adding a couple more cities. I mean, I get it that Chicago and like Philly are like probably buzzwords in terms of like overall debauchery, right? But you have to add St. Louis, you have to add Memphis, you have to add Atlanta. You need to be fully aware that these cities are probably all the same in terms of its overall the wildness, if we were to account for population, guys. But all right, let's go ahead and check it out. Let's see where this takes us.
Amber Smith is a former Iraq war combat pilot, a former deputy assistant to the Secretary of Defense, and the author of the book Danger Close. So Amber, obviously the context of being in a theater of war is very different than being in a dangerous neighborhood in a city in America. But what is your reaction to the study showing that if you're an 18 to 29 aged male in these places, that your chance of dying is much higher than if you were to be deployed?
I think it's a pretty devastating statistic that Americans are safer to join the military and serve and fight in a combat zone like Iraq and Afghanistan than to live in a couple of these American cities. And it's absolutely true. Chicago's a war zone. Philadelphia is a war zone. And it's reflected in the way that there's mass exoduses in those cities right now. People don't want to see these criminal gangs that are out of control and swarming vehicles as they come to stoplights and are robbed by weapons in broad daylight, where it's essentially a lawless city. And so I just think that these is a direct reflection of these soft on crime policies that we're seeing at the very top.
Yeah, guys, I can tell you this right now. If I ran any of these cities, it would be no soft on crime. If anything, it would be absolutely terrible on crime, guys. Right? Do something terrible. I dare you. Right? I mean, I get it. I mean, my overall outlook on life comes from the fact that I kind of live in two places, right? Knowing that in Spain, where I live half the year, I don't lock my doors, guys. Right? And what I mean by that is that, like, there's no real reason to lock your doors where I live. Right? I know that I can go outside and not have to worry about anything literally happening to me ever. I know that if I'm in Spain when I'm old, I'm going to basically expire from old age, factually. But the other half of the year in the United States of America, I definitely carry, because you never know in a place such as this, guys. Right? So yeah, when it comes to very specifically crime, I would be terrible, right? Everyone's going to jail. Everyone. There's no, I'm 17, but I'm basically pilfering other people's vehicles and property, and I'm going to go ahead and let this person out because they're a couple of months away from 18, bro. No, you just ruined your life. You did. Because again, I don't see kids in, for example, Spain going around doing these things, right? It is absolutely an American issue, and we're just facilitating it with being soft on crime. Never be soft on crime. How dare? Like, I mean, how will these people learn? And when I mean by these people, I mean people that are committing crimes, right? I'm not just saying these people, just grouping them together. I'm not doing that, right? But how will the people that are actually committing these crimes learn? Or maybe they're just done, right? Sometimes the hardest thing in the world is, putting a kid in jail, period. If you know that there is a trend in a very specific area and of crime and retribution deletions, right? You should probably start being a lot tougher on crime, not soft on crime.
And this very anti-police rhetoric that we're seeing from some members of Congress like AOC, the Squad, and the defund the police movement. These policies and this rhetoric is what is pushing this rise of...
Okay. The concept of defunding the police, that topic is an interesting one, right? I don't think that police should have military equipment at all under those circumstances, right? Well, a couple of circumstances. Let me rephrase that, guys. Here, militarized extremely. I would not allow regular police officers, right, to walk outside like they do in any other place in America that's not, extremely ghettoized, right? But I think in these very specific areas, Chicago, Philly, Memphis, Atlanta, I'm referring to downtown Atlanta, right? Or the west side of Atlanta, mainly, specifically. And Memphis, like all these places should absolutely have a full-blown military All right. Outside of that, I don't know about all of that, bro. Relax. You don't need that tank, bro. What do you need it for? Because it looks cool. That's kind of the thing about that, guys. Defunding the police is a weird one. It's because we need someone to kind of protect the people who cannot protect themselves, if that makes any sense. Even though I understand that the concept of protecting and serving is no longer a thing, they generally will come after the incident is happening, right? In certain places, guys, but defunding the police, not in these areas. Under no circumstance should these people in this area be talking about defunding any type of police, bro. Seriously.
Crime that we're seeing in these cities.
Yeah, the other distinction is that when you join the military, as you know, and you go.
Bro, did this man just walk into a restaurant and just take the woman's purse off the table in Chicago and just walk out? That's wild.
Yeah, the other distinction is that when you join the military, as you know,
with no
and you
care,
go fight for your country overseas, you're doing it for a purpose. You're fighting to defend Americans at home from a foreign threat, in defense of the country. There is a purpose to it. Here, it's like the purpose is just to be part of a gang and to engage in this violence for the sake of what exactly?
Yeah, exactly. And I think it does come back to lack of police support. When I was served in the military, when we had to deploy to a war zone, I served in both Iraq and...
One second. Let me hear what she said again, guys.
Engage in this violence for the sake of what exactly?
All right. So this is the thing here, guys. This is what a lot of people don't fully grasp. Like in the United States of America, there are multiple pockets of cultures, right? The woman that's speaking, I can definitely tell you, based off of how she's speaking, she's never really been outside probably the area that she was raised in, if that makes any sense. And that area, very specifically, is nothing like this, right? So she's on the outside looking into something without understanding any of it. Is it absolutely debauchery? Yeah, it's debauchery. That's a trash culture, guys. It is. It is absolutely self-destructive. I get it, right? But she's speaking about something she really doesn't know. But all right.
Gang and to engage in this violence for the sake of what exactly?
Like she's framing it in a very weird way.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it does come back to lack of police support. When I was served in the military, when we had to
No, it's not lack of police support. It's a lack of opportunities, most likely. You have people living super close together. And honestly, most of these places are deserts, all types of deserts. Food deserts, education deserts. And what's being created by all of these things? Crime. That's what it is. I was told not to say this again because people yell at me in the comments. I would personally say just leave, but I understand that's not the easiest thing in the world for people to do. You can't just pick up and leave your life if you really have no other opportunities outside of where you are. But do we really want these very specific people from these cities coming into our suburbs, guys? I don't know, guys. Honestly, I think everyone should have potentially the ability to change in time, but again, if you're committing crime, I don't think you should be outside of the jail. That's not something that I'm willing to risk a change from, mainly from my family. I have no interest in this type of behavior being around my family or yours, guys. Let's just be real here. But all right, let's get it.
Deploy to a war zone. I served in both Iraq and Afghanistan. We had the support of our chain of command. We had the resources we need to be able to accomplish the mission. We had top resources, weapons and ammunition to ensure that the team made it back safely. But most importantly, we had the backing of the American people. We knew we were supported here at home, and it made such a difference. So I think with this rise in crime that we're seeing in these cities, the police are essentially being overrun. They don't have the support of their elected leadership of some of these liberal cities, their mayors.
Okay, this is extremely partisan, guys. Okay. Okay. The reason why I'm just disgusted by it, I generally don't like super partisan things. I didn't even see that this said Fox News, guys. All right, this is super partisan. Okay, so let me say this here. Yeah, the cities have an absolute problem. They have a problem, and a lot of the leadership generally is the problem. Fact. They are the ones who are kind of facilitating this soft on crime attitude. That's just a fact, guys. They are. If they wanted to make any type of meaningful change, you're gonna have to hurt a couple of feelings, guys. Right? That's it. You're gonna have to hurt somebody's feelings. Okay, and I know by saying, "Oh, listen, we're gonna start putting even more people in jail." Yeah, bro. Yeah, get them out of here. Right? I mean, I have never been anyone who's been like, let's just gentrify an area. But some of these areas just need to be gentrified immediately, guys. All right? But where are those people? Where are the people there? Where are they going to go? Right? They're going to go to the next city, most likely. Right? But to fix Chicago, I don't think there's any, I honestly don't think there's anything you can do with Chicago, bro. And I'm mainly referring to the South Side. The rest of the city is somewhat civilized, guys. In terms of like Philly has its moments, bro. Right? They have its moments. I wouldn't specifically, oh God, guys. Education, jobs. Some of these things can probably help out a whole lot, guys. Limiting like government funded assistance programs could also probably help. A lot of these issues though, guys. But
these district attorneys that are refusing to prosecute criminals, everything from misdemeanors all the way up to people who are rioting, theft, you name it. And so they do not have the support, the people to back them up after they make these arrests and get these criminals off the streets. The DA is sending them right back to the streets. So they're not having that support that we had from our leadership when we were in the military serving in combat.
Or I know that there are swaths of people who absolutely strongly just think jail should just be punishment, right? Jail needs to be rehabilitation. Do it like how some of the Nordic countries do it, guys. And the reason why I'm saying this is because like the only way to fix overall civilization, because we're obviously not going to be deleting these people. Do they deserve to be in jail for like their entire life? No, right? But they definitely need to be somehow rehabilitated. Like whatever their issues were, like what is causing them to act in such an antisocial manner. If we can figure that out, right? And obviously make the jail. Make the jail safer? That sounds strange, I know. Guys, there needs to be more fixing than overall punishing. Because what happens is these people get back out and they go back to the same exact life they were living before. And then what happens? It's a cycle. I mean, I get it. Those tax dollars are absolutely amazing for housing them in your small town jail. I get that. But, and that basically is overall facilitating the concept of recidivism. Right? Like, let's not fix anything. Let's just punish them with time wasted, right? And then let them back out so they can do the same thing again and we can get more money again. I mean, I get that, right? Tax dollars are amazing, apparently. I don't know, right? But we need to definitely make it a solid attempt to rehabilitate, guys.
Right. I mean, the guys who want to go in and protect people from this kind of bad behavior, or to protect people who live in these neighborhoods who aren't part of the gangs, are the ones who are not being able to get that as a result of the lack of morale, right? I mean, it seems like there's this cultural rot that's occurred, and I don't really know where we go from here, given, as you said, people are abandoning the cities, police don't have the support from the people who fund them and give them the resources that they need. I just think it's going to get worse.
It is, and we're seeing the negative effects of over 2 years of this defund the police rhetoric and movement, with people pushing this without thinking of the consequences. And we're sadly seeing the morale being significantly damaged in the law enforcement culture, and things have got to change.
This man pulled a firearm out, guys, and it's completely wrecked. It's not even it's ridiculous. So that's why this guy had the overall courage to kind of reach for his firearm.
These lawless cities come to an end, and we get some law and order back in them for the safety of the American people.
Yeah, I mean, it's just shocking that young men in these cities have a higher likelihood of being shot and killed in their neighborhood by a fellow gang member than they do if they were to join the military for a larger purpose of themselves and be deployed overseas. It's just outrageous and devastating, as you said. Amber Smith, thanks so much for coming on tonight. Good to see you.
Thanks, Katie. Good to see you.
Hey, Sean Hannity.
All right. So here's the thing. This definitely kind of comes off as extremely partisan. It definitely feels a little fear-mongerish, right? It does. Sorry. But yeah, all right, listen, let me know in the comments on the next one of these we should be checking out. I do definitely agree fully that Chicago, Philly, St. Louis, Memphis, and Atlanta should definitely be on this list, and they probably are worse than some zones, guys. Not all of them, because some of them have been crazy historically, right? But all right, listen, let me know in the comments the next one of these I should be checking out, and I will get into that as soon as I possibly can, all right? And listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day and enjoy your day thoroughly.